All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. They can join in. We're going to talk a little bit about different types of baskets really quick. My name's Jennifer, and I'm the director here at the museum. So first off, baskets were used by people from all over the world for really as long as humans were around. They were making baskets, and they were making them to carry their stuff in, whether it was going out in the woods and looking for food, whether that was mushrooms or berries or nuts. They would put them in a basket and then bring them back to where they lived. So all over the world, they found them in Egyptian tombs. They found them in China, in Europe, and of course here in North America too. And the reason that we find them everywhere is because they are really easy to make. You can make them from any fiber that you find out in nature, whether that's pine needles, roots, tree branches, fresh tree branches, really anything that is easy to bend, is a bit long, can be woven into a basket. So I'm going to just show you a few different types of baskets that we have here at the museum, and we have tons of baskets at the museum. So if you haven't seen them in a while, you need to come and take a look. Now, the ones that I'm going to show you are pretty difficult weaving, and we're not going to do that today. So first off is this little tiny basket right here. And this is from the Aleutian Islands, so way out by Alaska. And it almost looks like fabric that clothes would be made out of, but it's actually made from a type of grass. And I'm going to try to get this really close, and you can see how small that weave is. And then there's those different colors in there, and those are dyed from a natural material found in nature. So it's a very, very tiny weave. It'd take a long time to make. And like even the top, the little handle, the little top of that is woven. So these are some of my favorite baskets that we have here at the museum. This one is an American basket. So this is something that the pioneers would have used. And this is very similar to the weave that we're gonna do today. So it's a basic over-under weave. And this kind of looks like a picnic basket, doesn't it? Yeah? Can everyone hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, excellent. So, yep, it's like a picnic basket. This one is African, and it has a lid that comes off or comes to the side. And then it has like a little stand that it sits on. And this is pretty similar to the weave that we are going to do too. And so in early times, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, when people started trading with different cultures, they would trade the items with the baskets. So that's how you see very similar weaves. Like this weave is very similar to the weave that I just showed you from America, and this one's from Africa. So as they were trading their baskets and learning different ways to weave, different weaving techniques. This one's really cool. Can you guys tell what that is? It's a sea animal, a big, huge sea creature. It's a whale. And this is also from the Aleutian Islands, so way out by Alaska, British Columbia area. So it's a woven whale. And once again, that's a really small weave. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And there's some markings on the bottom of it. Look at this one. It's huge, isn't it? And this is a pretty difficult weave too. So this one is almost more like sewing. So they take the fibers and they stitch it around like a ring, like a wooden ring. And then they dye these fibers as they go. So it's not like they paint it on there after, it's dyed as they are weaving. And it makes these beautiful, beautiful patterns. If you take a look inside, look at that. It's huge, look. And we have some ones that are much bigger than this. And even the bottom has dyed material. And this one is made from different types of reeds. And this is just like a platter or a plate, and very similar to the weave that I just showed you. Look at the patterns on that. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? And then here's the other side. Now we're going to Asia. So what's this look like? Looks like a flip-flop, doesn't it? So this is a Japanese shoe, and it's woven out of different grasses, different materials. And then the bottom has these like braided ropes on it. I'm guessing for a little bit of stability and structure to the shoe. You see that? And then this is made from like a cloth material. And then the last one is a hat. And this one is from, I think it's Chinese. Pretty sure it's Chinese. But the weave on it is really cool. This part right here, how it's like they brought the pieces together and then wove it in up here. It's just really, really cool. And you can see they dyed or painted. They're very faint, it's hard to see. Then on the inside, to make it a little more comfortable, they covered it with fabric to make it soft on your head. But protect their face from the sun, keep the rain off them when they're out working in the fields. So there you go. There's a few different types of baskets that we have at the museum. So you guys ready to get started? Yeah? Okay, so are your reeds soaking? Is everyone reeds soaking? Okay, so you should have had 2 different bundles. You should have a small bundle, looks kind of like this, and then you should have a larger bundle. These are what we're going to use first. And they might have been tied together. If they were, just get the shorter pieces. So you should have 5 pieces that are about 2 feet long, so that look like this. Does everyone have those? And if you're missing one, it's really easy to fix. We'll just cut the end off of one of the longer ones. So give me a thumbs up when you have them. So you should have 5 shorter ones and then 1 longer one in the bundle. So these are going to be our spokes. So if you think about a bicycle wheel, bicycle tire, it has the spokes, the metal spokes. That's what these are going to be. These are going to be this is going to be the structure of our basket. And we soaked them. So they're now you can bend them really easy. They're malleable. You can bend them. Okay, we're all ready? Okay, so we're going to take our first one and then we're going to take our base. Also, we don't want to get the base wet because it's made of plywood, and if we get it wet, it'll start to fall apart. So let's try really hard not to get it can get a little wet from these, but you don't want to dunk it in the water. So we're going to grab this and we're going to stick one end through one hole and then grab the other end and stick it to the hole right beside it. So it looks like this. So once we get this part started, it's going to be easy. This is the trickiest part, I guess. And then you're going to make sure they're even and then pull them all the way up. And then you see how it has that, it's not flat. You're just going to press that flat with your thumb and then it lays flat. And then you're going to grab another one and do the same thing right beside it, the 2 holes next to it, and then pull them up. and then press it flat. So the little kids might need a little help with this, but once we get started weaving, it should be good. Okay, then move to the next two and pull it up. And if you have any questions, go ahead and unmute and ask. And then move to the next two. And push it flat. And then the last piece goes in the two holes next to it. Pull it up, push it flat. And when you're done, there should be one hole left. So it should look like this. And give me a thumbs up when you're to this point, when it looks like this. Good. Are the Malinkis done? Almost? What about the Bush crew? Almost done? All right. So if you notice, there's one hole left. And that's because when we're weaving, when we're doing over and under, which is what we're going to be doing, you need to have an uneven number of spokes. If we had an even number, then our weaves would always be the same. So you would always have every weave on the outside of this spoke and the inside of this spoke on the outside, and it wouldn't stay together. So we have to have an uneven number. So the way we're going to do, there's a couple different ways. I thought this would be the easiest way to do it. So you're going to take your long piece, and if it's too long, you can cut it short to like 4 feet. Especially with the younger kids, sometimes it gets hard having the really long weavers. So we are going to stick that up through the empty hole, and we're going to make it even with the rest of our spokes. Okay, and then we have this long tail. Mine's really long. I might have to cut mine. And that's going to start our weaving. Does everyone understand that? Does that make sense? Kind of? Here, I'll show you again. So you got your empty hole and you got your long one. It's going to go through the bottom, and then you're going to, let me get the right angle here. You're going to pull it all the way so it's even with the rest of your with the rest of your spokes. So now you should have 11 spokes, 11 of these pieces sticking up. Does that make sense? And then your long tail is hanging out the bottom. See that? See how it's hanging out the bottom? And so what we're going to do is we're going to bend that up. We're going to press it flat to the bottom, and we're going to bring it up and over. Up and over. And then this is going to start our weaving. Sorry, let me scoot a little bit closer here. So this first row is going to be kind of tricky because you have all of these loose pieces up here. So let me, this is the tricky part on video. Okay, so we're not going to start with that piece. That's going to be our last one that we're going to weave. And you can go either direction, whatever way is comfortable for you to weave. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to go to my right hand. So our first one is going to, so here it is coming, whoops, hold on. It's coming up through the bottom. It's laying flat, and I'm going to press it flat against the top. And you're going to skip where it came up, and you're going to go behind that next one over. You see that? And then you're going to go over the next one. And then you're going to go behind the one after that. And you can bend these. Your spokes can be pulled out to the side because they've been soaked in water. And you want to use your fingers to hold it down. See how I put my fingers through the spokes? This is going to help keep it flat to that bottom, for that bottom row. Like I said, this is the tricky row. Getting baskets started is the hardest part. And then you're going to go behind and then in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind. And then you're back to where you started. You finished that last piece. So your first row should look like this: behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front. Oh, sorry, behind, in front, behind, in front. So every other one goes behind. Does that make sense? Brantley, does that make sense? Yeah, okay. And you can really bend these out to the side. Your spokes, they bend. And if they feel like they're starting to get wet, all you do is flip it upside down and then dip it in the water. And just don't get this wooden part wet. So if you're to that point, you just keep going around. So you just want to make sure that you're going, every other one is going the opposite direction. So you want it to go behind and front, behind and front. So your first couple rows, you just want to go, you don't want to, you want to go straight up. You want your basket to be nice and straight on that first couple rows. And once you start getting a couple rows on there, you can see the weaving pattern. So I have a couple rows already. And you can see how, if you look down the spoke, you can see that there's ones on the inside right here, and then ones on the outside. So the weavers are holding the spokes straight up because every other one is going over, under, over, under. So, and then that's what you keep doing. You just keep going over, under, every other one. So it really is pretty simple once you get it started. How's everyone doing? You doing okay? Does it make sense?
Okay. Right.
So you're just going to keep going around till you finish that that one piece, and then everyone's is probably a different length, so give everyone a good bit of time. I still got a long way to go. Then we'll talk about how to add the next piece on. If you're having troubles or you have any questions, just unmute and go ahead and ask.
Your son's really good at this.
I feel like you're lying there. Hey, Yael, how's Soren doing?
I think he's one step ahead of Weston, maybe two. He's interested. Okay.
Good.
Where are you?
Good.
Under.
Yes, exactly.
What do I do now?
Okay. Keep going to the very end of it. And then I think Jen's going to tell us what we do to get a new one started.
Under. Right? No. Over. Over. Is it over?
We can't tell until we get it laid down. What do you think?
No.
It's under, isn't it? Okay, so just go back. Yep. You got it. Yeah. Good.
Almost.
All right, I'm to the end of my piece. I'm gonna put mine in the water too. It's getting a little dry.
What's next?
I finished my rope. What do I do now?
She's telling
Okay.
us next.
Okay. Give me, it looks like there's still a few people working. So give me a few minutes, Astrid. So I forgot to mention some of the stuff that we can use to make baskets out in in our yards and stuff. You can use grasses, like as the grass starts to grow long, especially like hay or straw, when it's still green. You can cut that down and weave a basket. You can use willow branches. Those are really good, especially the new pieces, the pieces that grow in the spring. They bend just by cutting them off the tree. They bend really easy. So what you do is you strip the bark off and then you soak them in water, and then they'll be really, you can bend them really easy. You can use different type of bark to make baskets to weave with. You can even use any type of tree branch that is a new growth. So this spring, when trees grow, it's called greenwood, and it's really malleable. You can bend it really easy. So that's some of the stuff that we can use. You can use grapevines or knotweed. That grows, it's all over the place in my area, and I made a basket from that a few years ago. So you want to make sure that your other bundle of reeds are in the water. And this gets a little tricky, pulling these out of the water, especially if you have several different family members doing this. So that means you're going to have a lot of reeds. But the thing is you don't need to have super long pieces. So if it breaks, it's no big deal. Just use it, go around as many times as you can with it, and then grab another piece. So I tried to cut them in manageable pieces, nothing more than like 5 or 6 feet long. So if you have some ones that are really long, just grab a pair of scissors and cut them in half. This is also where you can start making your basket have a different shape. So right now we're making it go straight up, and you can continue to do that, and then you have like a cylinder shaped basket that would go straight up. Or you can start weaving it so it spreads out more like that, like this type of shape, like a V shape. Or you can make it go in and go skinny. So if you want to start weaving in, that means you've got to tighten your weave up. So one thing I like to do is to rubber band it together so that all of your spokes are going in, and so that helps you get your weave tighter. If you want it to go out more like, you know, a V, then you just got to slowly loosen up your weave. And so you want to kind of press them out, like just by like bending them outwards a little bit, just by sticking your hand in and like pressing them out. And that's going to allow your weave to loosen. So it's going to get looser. The other thing that you kind of want to do right now is make sure your spokes are even. So like sometimes, I already evened mine up, but sometimes like these two can be really close together. Can you see that? And then they kind of cross. So you just want to like pull it so they are evenly spaced around. I think this one's a little, shift that over a little bit. So then it's nice and even. So I'll go ahead and get started. I can show this again. Okay, so you have your stopping spot. Mine's right here. Right here. See that? And I always finish behind a spoke because that holds it in place. You can flip this piece. Let me grab it. You can flip this piece to kind of rest below the piece underneath it. That's kind of the way I do it. These baskets you're not going to be carrying anything in them. These are just kind of decorative baskets. But what you could also do is bend it and stick it down through right beside like that. But I think it's fine that we just put it behind and press it down underneath. And then, so your next one is just going to start right there. Sorry, let me get it in the camera view. It's just going to start right there. They're going to kind of overlap, but once you start to weave, you won't see that. So here's my piece I finished on right here. So it's just going to sit behind that one. See that? And then you're just going to pick up where you left off. So under this one, over this one, under this one. So you got to hold that piece in place until you get it. Oh, I'm standing on it. That's why it's not going anywhere. Oops, wrong way. So like that. So see, I have that new piece started right there, and my old piece is sitting down here underneath. And then you just continue, but you got to hold that piece in place until you get a row in, and then that row will hold it down. So I'm going to try to make mine go out a little bit. I'm going to loosen up my weave. Whoops. So I just crossed where I started. It's right here. And you can really hardly tell. See? That piece kind of hides underneath there, and let me see if I can get you a cross right here. That's the old piece, and that's the new piece. And then you just keep going. How's everyone doing? Good? Is it making sense? So now you can make it as tall as you want, really. You can make it this tall, as tall as your spokes are now, or you can make it taller. You just have to add another spoke in. Also, if one of these breaks, cut me a piece. So if one of your spokes all of a sudden snaps off, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to start over. All you have to do, let's say this one breaks. So now I'm down a spoke. All you do is stick it in there right beside it. As far down as you can. And then that becomes your new spoke. That's also a way to make your basket taller. So if you want to go, this is about, I don't know, about 12 inches probably. If you want to make it taller than 12 inches, you would just, once you got close to the top of these, you would just cut you a new piece and stick it down in there on all of them. So if it breaks, no big deal. We can fix it. So then you just keep going round and round.
So we have a question.
Okay.
how do you, he's gotten one read started or done, then how do you start the next read?
Okay. Let me finish this off real quick. I just got
Okay.
a little bit further, about a foot.
Oh, okay. See what she's doing. She's pulling these down. Instead of leaving them really. Yeah. Okay. Here's your next one. Okay.
What am I gonna do?
Start the next read so that you can keep making it taller. She's fixing to tell you when you get done here. That's why we asked the question. Okay.
Okay, so I always finish mine. Who asked the question? Okay, I see now. Brantley, is that you?
Mhm.
Okay, so I always finish it behind a reed because I like it to go on the inside. So I'm just gonna push, I have that extra piece sticking out like this. It doesn't quite go in front, but it sticks out too far. So I'm just gonna press that down so it lays kind of underneath that last spoke.
Yep.
And then take your next piece and start it on the one that you stopped at. So that back one. So this is the one. So it's going to go behind this,
Okay.
behind that one. And then you're just going to pick up where you left off. So behind, in front. And you want to kind of hold that in place for that first row, the first new row. And then
Pull this one down.
just continue on. Does that make sense?
Yep, we've got it.
Okay.
Thank
Yep.
you. Now, see, that one's on the outside. That one goes on the outside. And then pull this one out. Pull that one out. On the inside. Keep going. Where's that one go? Pull this down. Stop, stop, stop.
What?
Because really on the same.
All right. So how's everyone doing? Show me where you're at.
Well, we ain't got very
Good.
far. Oh, down all that.
Okay. Good.
That was my problem. Okay,
Okay.
so look, see how this one ended on the inside? So then we start the next one in the same spot. That way you keep going.
So now we have, you can put these on at any time. Actually, let me finish this row real quick. Oops. So mine's starting to, you can see it's starting to V out a little bit. So we have beads. Everyone should have got beads. You can add beads in if you would like. Let me go grab an example real quick, and then I have done. So this is one that I did when I was young. So it's a much smaller base than what we have, but same idea. So what you can do is add beads in. If you want to, you don't have to. I'm going to show you how to do it. But you want to finish a row before you add in the beads. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And then if you want to continue, make yours taller, that's fine. And then if you have a question, oops, I messed up somewhere. Oh, here we go. So all you do is put the beads on the ends. Just put them on the spokes. You can, if you have your own beads, you can put those on. I suggest only putting one row of beads on at a time.
We didn't get any beads.
You didn't get any beads?
You didn't get any beads? Nope.
The Malinky crew?
We did
Oh.
not. Neither did I.
Dang it.
Dang it.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Maybe we have something in the house that we can use. We'll go look around. All right. You guys, time to Astrid, Soren, it's time to get your spokes wet again. Okay, I'm gonna go look for some beads. You get your spokes wet. Oh, cool! Look how it looks.
So I'll give you guys a minute. I'll be right back a second. All right, so you put your beads on and you have your last piece that ends right here. So it's behind this blue bead right here. And you just get your next piece. Again, you start behind, but you want to go on top of that bead. So behind and front. So this part's a little tricky. So you're just going right over top of that bead. Oops, I messed up. So you get your first row done. And this piece, where you started, is going to stick up a little bit for until you get a few rows on, and then you can adjust it. You can trim this piece off and make sure it stays behind that one. Okay. So just kind of hold it in place for that first couple rows. So it's just like a break in the basket weaving, and you just pick up where you left off. So if you're not to the beads yet, that's fine. Just let me know when you're there, when you're to that point, and I'll go through it again. Oh, I just broke mine. Yeah, they're doing good. I think they're doing good. So I just poked myself in the eye, and oops, I do. Oh, I just broke one of my spokes, so I'm gonna pull that off there. Since I broke it at the bead, I'm gonna take the bead off, trim that down. And that piece I had earlier that I showed you with, I am going to what's that? When Amelia comes in, she should be. Oh, she should be here soon, yeah. So I had to, let me find the piece right here. I broke this one off, so I stuck it down in there, and now I get to put the bead back on right here. So instead of undoing the whole weave, I'm just gonna put it on and then just work it back down in there. Since I was only a couple rows in, it's easy. It was pretty easy to do. So you just want to make sure that that piece is down. Oops, about broke it again. Down far enough in there, so it's sturdy. And then I've changed my shape a little bit too much. I've bent my spokes a little bit too much, but too quickly, I guess. Too much of an angle. So when you first put the beads on, it looks a little funky. It looks loose and falling apart, but once again, as you get going, it tightens up the spokes, and you can trim that extra piece. And I messed up. Oh no. I messed up. So I'm going to take this all off. I think I didn't put the spoke in the right way, the one that broke. So it's really easy. If you see that you messed up, you just pull it out to that last point that was correct. So, oh, okay. It's like crocheting. When you mess up, you just pull it out and start over. Everyone doing okay? Good?
Here's mine.
Excellent. Very nice.
You're gonna add some beads now?
But I need to.
So now you can really see the shape of my basket coming along. And you can see how my spokes are really angled out to the side. So I could make my basket go like this. So then all I would do is pull these in, rubber band them like that. Whoops. And then I can make it start going in. So that's what's really cool about using these reeds. Once you get them wet, you can bend them really easy, make some really cool shaped baskets. So I'm going to let you guys work for a few minutes. I got to go help get the museum open real quick. We open in just a few minutes and then I'll be back down. So just a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions before I walk away a minute? No questions? All right, I'll be right back. Oh, she might be at the front door. All right, I'm back. We had 5 people waiting to get in the museum, so it was a little crazy for a minute. How's everyone doing? Are we still having fun? Good, nice, Clark. Is that your name, Clark? Or is that someone else's name? Yeah. So what's nice about basket weaving, if you're like, oh, my fingers hurt, I'm done, you can set it down and come back to it later. But if you do that, you want to make sure you soak it, stick it in upside down, and make sure you soak these really good before you start weaving again, because they're going to dry out really quickly and then they'll break. So if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Weaving can hurt your little fingers. But if you want to keep going, or if you feel like you're done, like I could make, this would be a really cute basket, this size right here. So does anybody feel like they are finished and are ready to finish off the ends? Are we still weaving? Everyone still weaving? Okay. Well, then I will keep weaving. If you're done, go ahead and unmute and let me know, and I will show you what to do with the ends. Otherwise, we'll just keep on moving. Hi, Keegan. Are you done? Or do you just want to wave at me? Ooh, nice. Nice work. Nice, Marissa. Marissa Bush, my daughter. Not the other Marissa. Nice. I like that. Good work. I had to grab me a rubber band. I'm gonna try to make mine go in just a little bit. So I don't want it to keep going out. I want it to kind of level off.
Hey Jen, where do you get supplies for this? Just a craft store or?
I've never been able to find it at a craft store. This is actually from Amazon.
Okay.
You can buy these. This is a kit that you buy for like several people. It comes with the base, or you can just buy the reeds. It depends on how, if you want to use the base or not, or I guess you could make the base.
It'd be a nice birthday party idea when we.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
Here's mine.
Very good.
I put purple, green, and a blue bead.
Oh, and there's are they sparkly?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, there's
Little.
clear.
Very cool.
It
Clear.
must be the light. Okay.
We got this.
They're kind of clear beads. Yeah, they're nice. Oops, I messed up again. I'm not paying attention. There we go.
Get it tighter.
You can't get it tighter?
No.
Okay, so you want to pull it together like this. Do you have a rubber band? If not, go grab a hair tie. And you want to, and if you don't like how loose it is, hold it up again so I can see it. If you don't like how loose it is on that one side, press it down with your fingers like this. Press it down. And if that doesn't work, just take out a couple of the rows and then put the rubber band on it to pull it together. Okay? When you put the rubber band on it, then you have to weave it in and out like this. You can't really move the spokes that well. But then once you get it going in the direction that you want, then you can take the rubber band back off. Whoops. Dang it. I just broke another spoke. I should have soaked mine when I came back down here. Everyone still doing okay? Anybody finished yet? No? Okay. How are you doing, Soren? Can I see yours? Hold it up. Good job. Nice work. So I pulled in my spokes and now you can see that it's starting to go in. You can see that shape. So we're going to work for about 5 more minutes and then I want to show you how to finish it off. Even if you're not done, I'll show it to you. This is being recorded, so if you need to go back and watch it again, once you're done, you'll be able to do that. But I want to show you so you guys can, so you know how to do it. So work for about another 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, something like. right, so I'm going to show you how to finish this off. The easy way is to just bend over. I trimmed mine off. Don't trim yours off if you're not done. If you are done and you want to finish this off, you want to trim them. You want them to be about 6 inches long. So the easy way to do it is to just bend them and then stick them down through that second. You're gonna like wedge it between the second row. You gotta move them around a little bit, and then you pull it all the way down. I'm not gonna do it because it's hard to get undone, but you stick it through there and then you pull it all the way down. I don't like to do it that way because your top row is a little bit loose. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna overlap them. So you're gonna find a spoke that you want to start with. I'm gonna start with this one. I think this is the one that broke earlier. So we'll see if it stays in. And you're going to put it over the next one and then under the one after that. And then the next one, you're gonna go back first and then, so over and then under. Mine are a little short, so then you're gonna go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. So you're just going along, over, under, over. And then, so now we're back to, we only have 2 spokes left. So then it's gonna go over, and then you're going to find that first one, which is right here, and you're gonna just stick it behind. And then same with this one. So it is over, and then you're going to weave it through that little opening. So the last 2, let me find this next one, are the hard ones because you only have 1 to go around. So you go around that last one, and then here's that first one that you started with, and you're going to just stick it in there. So see that? It just sticks in there. And then this one, you're going to, here's that first one you started with, you're going to go around and stick it through the opening, and then it's going to rest behind, sorry, your second one. Whoops, and I just pulled it out. So if yours are short, you got to be careful with it. Mine are a little short. Then if you have all this extra stuff, you can just stick it down into the basket where your spoke is, and that's going to hold it in place, or you can trim it off. If you feel like it's secure enough, you can trim it off. So like I have this piece sticking up, let's see, right here. See how that's sticking into the front? So I'm just going to take my scissors and whoops, trim that off a little bit. And then you have a nice edge. See? And that's how you finish it. If you have any other pieces sticking out, like I have a piece right here. Let's see if I can. Right here. So I'm just going to trim that a little bit, just a little bit, just so it's like right behind the blue bead, so you can't really see it. Did that make sense? Kind of. I'll do it one more time. Oops. So behind, or I guess in front and behind. In front, behind, in front, behind. Oops. In front, behind. So you just go one after the other. And then you get to these last two in front, and then you stick it through right here. Mine's a little short. I cut mine a little short. I got an idea. All right. So, oh, let's not start with that one. That's my broken one. So in front, behind. In front, behind. In front. You're basically just weaving them all the way through. And cut off the extra pieces. In front, behind. Oops. I've got a broken one right here, so I got to be really careful with it. It might break. Ooh. And then when you get to the end, you just stick them through those first two. So you just weave them through. Guess I got to get it in front of the camera, don't I? So then I have all of these pieces sticking out, and these are the pieces that you can see how I have that piece there. These are the pieces that you can trim off. So your spokes kind of become weavers at the end to finish it off. And then once you get all of them done, then it's tight and it won't come off. So I can trim these. Whoops. And I have a finished basket. That's my broken one.